Hello. Today on Laugh and Learn and Magic Tool Talk. Magic Tool Talk, yeah. I had a moment there. We're cracking open the cloves of garlic, kitchen rocket fuel, folk protector, and the world's zestiest mythbuster. We'll taste the science of how chopping versus roasting flips its flavor, peek at what research actually says about heart health and immunity, tread carefully through safety, and then wander into the crossroads lore, mojo bags, and yes, why vampires supposedly hate the stuff. Aprons on, wands up, let's press into it. Today, I am joined by the amazing oil painter, Diana. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. It's so good to see you, honest.
It's great to be here. And as I said, it's a laugh and learn and magic tool talk. This is part of the Laugh and Learn Magic Tool Talk podcast. So it's available as a podcast. So you will be able to listen to this later on the go. So I am thrilled to have that. Diana, what's going on with you? What's news?
I don't know. Everything and nothing. Except that I do really sense the mystical returning, the regeneration as we are heading into the final season on the witch's calendar, right?
Yes.
And the magic of autumn is certainly in the air. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a lot of colors around here this year because it's been so dry.
Of course.
And so windy.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am glad to be here for this. I'm a big fan of garlic. A show of hands for people in the chat if you like garlic. Yeah. And here, and you can put 2 tiny hands up if you really, really like garlic. It's all good. I do want to welcome everybody for coming in. Thank you, Angela, Cardamancy Mesquite, Annie Bear, Timmy from Raven Tarot Meditation, Viviani, Lois is here. I am Lulu. Little Zen Crone, Jilly is here. Hello, Jilly. It's good to see you. Jilly, if you ever want to come on a laugh and learn about this practice that you're doing, new version of it, I'm going to reach out to you. Roman is here. Okay, Timmy has said, I like garlic. Viviani has ordered a garlic pizza when I had a cold, and I recommend it. And River has made it. It's great to see you. Maru has joined us. BJP 28 or 2B is here. So today we are talking about garlic. As always, please remember to like and subscribe because it's free. Also, as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. So, and, Julie said, I would love to. And, but I have questions about growing it. So, Orsi is here. Hello. And, and Jilly loves your glasses.
Thank you, Jilly.
So, also the wired bear garlic, Roman says.
So, oh, I have a tale.
Well, please tell.
Bear. It's part of the creation stories of Korea.
Okay.
And there was a tiger and a bear that lived in a cave and were very, very tired of being animals and prayed and prayed and prayed to become human.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope I don't butcher these names, but so if there's anyone who's Korean or speaks Korean, if you could spell it phonetically for us, that'd be great. So Oh, let me get to the right page so I butcher these names correctly.
Yeah.
So it is a Korean shamanism. It's power food, and it changed a bear into a goddess.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so in the tiger and the bear prayed to Wanug, Wanun, maybe,
Okay.
to be a human. And he gave them each a pouch that contained 20 cloves of garlic and a clutch of mugwort. And he
Mm,
told them to stay out of the sun for 100 days and eat only this food.
mm,
Well, the tiger didn't last. He got
okay.
hungry and he left and he went off on his little hunting trip. But the bear, able to stay in the cave as bears do,
Mm-hmm.
lasted his 100 days. And he became the goddess. A woman first. He became a woman first. And her name became.
I'm sitting here. You're like when she became a woman first and then a goddess, and I'm like, isn't that the same thing? I mean, in my
Well,
world. But anyhow, finish your story.
right. Okay, so became the woman. Then she became very lonely and sat out under the betula tree and
Mm,
prayed for a child because she didn't have a husband. She didn't have anything, right?
mhm.
Now, this guy, he was a king, not a god. He was a king, Huanug. And so he heard her prayers and became very smitten with her, and he felt sorry for her loneliness. So he married her, and
Mm,
they gave birth to a child, and that child is Son Dogan, and
okay.
he went on to form the Korean nation.
Oh,
So
interesting.
she became a deity out of that. And I know I wrote that name down. I don't understand why I cannot see what her name is.
And Orshi said one of my favorite stories we learned about in university. So we're talking about garlic, and Maru has said garlic bread is one of the yummiest things, and Timmy agrees with her. Francine is here. Hello, Purple Moon Tarot. It's great to see you. So let's start. Let's show people how we get how garlic comes to us now. Diana actually has a big clove of garlic.
Yay! I
So
got
do
a,
share.
a brand new, recently harvest, fresh out of the ground, huge clove, which I love because that means each one of these is going to be a good sized chunk. And quite often we have this. We find in
Mhm.
our grocery stores.
Yes.
And one of the ways to make sure is that is a good clove is you don't want these outer buds to be squishy. You want them
Mhm.
to be firm. Each,
Yes.
each one is a little onion of its own, right? We know this.
Mhm.
Now, this one is, I'm purposely drying it because
Okay.
I'm going to use this one. Sorry. I'm going to use this one in my black salt. So I always come and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make a new batch of black salt and I'm going to use these cloves for that.
Mhm.
Grate them up and put them in there. So when they grow, you don't harvest them until the leaves that are coming up on the top begin to turn brown and fall
Yes.
over. That's when you go to harvest them.
Mhm.
And there are so many varieties. I want to say
There
100.
are a lot.
There's probably more than that. I mean, you could not read the whole list, right?
Mhm.
We'd be here till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the flavor is basically the same in all of them, but they have different color, they have
Mhm.
different aroma,
Yes.
and you know, when you're cooking them, Gerald, we know this, we can change the way they taste by
Yes.
how we prepare it, correct?
Yes. Yes. And so I want to, Jilly had asked, how do you plant it? When do you plant garlic?
6 weeks before the frost in autumn, or very early in the spring when you know that the threat of frost is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I got mine in too late this past spring.
Yeah.
And I could get lucky and go out there and find one or two, but I'm not counting on it.
Yes. And so I am a big fan of reading cookbooks. So by all means, pick up your cookbook and read what it says about these herbs that you're using. Because garlic it can be talked about. It's a hardy plant. And so it has edible bulbs that bunch at the top and are indistinguishable in taste. And from the tender oriental garlic, there's lots and lots of garlic. Now we have that she's shown. Now here's Gerald's way of getting garlic.
And that takes the need out of mincing, that's for sure.
It does. However, this also allows me to do something like this, which you can't tell, but it is a garlic paste with cayenne pepper in it.
Oh, wow.
So, and yes, I have used it for magical purposes as well as culinary uses. It's
come on, baby, light my
it's
fire.
it's quite good. It's quite good. More people have come in. It is, and Annie Bear says, I love growing garlic. Buying the big jar and buying the big. So I think it's one of those things. Garlic is a standard for me. Now, okay, so I have, so I am, back in the day when I was doing some studying with the coven about these uses, I start like with herbs are going to be my focus point next year, saving this video for replay. We are not the only people who are doing magical herbs.
Yeah.
Joey from the Veiled Cottage Witch has done a very robust series. I think she just did one on mullein. So I encourage people to look her up.
And mullein is an awesome thing, particularly at this time of the year.
Yes. Jilly said, I planted in October in a raised bed, but in spring there was nothing there. And when I turned over the dirt, nothing. It's like it disintegrated. I had a screen over the bed to protect from animals. Ooh.
Well, pests, there are very few animals, pests, and diseases that will get into garlic. My thought is you had deadheads to begin with. Did you see any green growth on it? That's the best way. Like when you get your crocus and we put in our fall bulbs, the thing is you're supposed to put them in the refrigerator and they begin to get these roots coming out of, are not roots. Well, they root, but they also begin to get some growth like potatoes do, like onions do. Those things you can quarter or even make more out of and stick them in the ground, be they onions or potatoes, sweet potatoes, anything where the eyes begin to grow. So you want to feel that there is life in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first year I did, second year, no. Okay. Jill, I think it's really smart that you're paying attention to what's working. So
yeah, very good. Right.
Yeah.
So try pulling them out during the summer months. Or make sure that you have them planted in a place where consider them to be like a rhizome, like bulbs. They're willing to take the spring sunshine and the summer sunshine for growth, but they don't want that. They need to rest. They're a root.
Yes. And Jill, has said, trying again this year. I'm glad you're not giving up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. I do want to say I have put into both of our chats the link to the Veiled Cottage Witch, Joey's channel. Tell her
Yeah.
Gerald sent you. That will mean nothing. However, she is coming on my channel in October. We've got a Laugh and Learn coming. So, okay, let's talk about the idea of more people have come in, and it's lovely. Thank you, everybody. So, culinary uses of garlic. Let's just face it. Garlic is a standard for me. Garlic works with just about anything, in my opinion. What's really interesting is the flavor changes by how you cut it and how you cook it. So if you crush it or you microplane it, it ruptures more vessels, which makes more allanase. Is that the correct pronunciation?
I think so.
Or more allicin, and it has a sharper and hotter bite to it. Hand mincing it or slicing it is milder, and longer cooking mellows and sweetens.
In the sweet, yes, especially
Mhm.
if you just put a whole clove by
Yes.
itself into a pot.
So there's also a suggestion that you let chopped garlic rest for about 10 minutes before heating to maximize the allicin development, which is fascinating. And by the way, when as a youngster, listen to me, as a youngster, probably 6 months ago, I was still doing this. Heat really changes the chemistry. So if slow roasting garlic actually develops the sweetness, and rather than making it have a bite. So a slow roast, because sometimes you've seen where people will roast garlic. Maybe, I don't know about you, but I watch a lot of cooking shows.
Mm.
Uh, and so a roasted garlic has a lot of sweetness, and it's really quite tasty.
Right. And it's kind of a shock because we're used to that spice or that powerful
Yes.
overtaste that keeps your friends away. But that's good because that's called protection.
Yes. So when you're thinking about this, if you want the real hardcore punch, microplane. If you want it a bit mellow, you can slice it and saute it. And saute does not mean high heat, Gerald. Does not mean high heat. Roast the whole heads for spreads. And definitely the prep really does change the texture.
Right.
So it's really fascinating. Now, black garlic is aged or fermented garlic, and it's weeks at a low heat and humidity. They produce a browning for a jammy balsamic like umami, and it's
Ooh.
oftentimes common in Korean, Japanese, and Chinese cuisines. So it's great in dressings and aioli and glazes. So,
And can we get that in the store or should we do it ourselves?
well, if you can find it, great, good for you. I'm
Like,
thinking you're going to have to you might have to make it yourself,
or go to a Korean market, which,
or go to a Korean or yes, yeah. I chewed up and ate a whole raw garlic clove once, and it was very dramatic.
I bet.
Yes.
I bet.
Um,
Did it bite your tongue?
yeah. More people are joining us. Thank
Awesome.
you. And if roasted, do you peel the clove? No. If you roast it, the clove, you can squeeze the clove out, and
Ah,
it's it's
right.
it's 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 really quite tasty. Hi, Kiba, Alice. So, Diana, is there a way to proof sprout them before planting in the dirt so that one is certain it will grow?
Well, you can, you know how we do that with bulbs in the house when we're doing the Advent flower, you just put the bulb, rest it on some kind of a little vase with a opening, small neck, so that the roots will go on down, but keep your water fresh in the bottom part of the vase.
Yeah.
And then watch for the roots to grow. You could do that since, I think I said 6 weeks before the frost. No, 6 weeks before the ground is frozen. So it's better to plant it in late November, unless
Yes.
you're in a climate where your ground is frozen in November.
Yes. Yeah, and people are talking a lot about the beautiful way they use garlic, which is great. If you were watching the playback, please leave a comment, maybe your favorite way to eat garlic. Garlic has a warm bite to it. It is sharp and it's savory, and oftentimes it plays well with others. It actually enhances other flavors.
Right.
So
I agree. So many foods do that. And just like you said, where can you put garlic? Everywhere, from mashed potatoes to boring cauliflower to,
and
butter.
it does take a bit of, you can overcook it.
Yeah. I agree.
So and Roman's like going, are you going to discuss powdered and dehydrated types?
No, I don't have those in my kitchen, so I don't know what to say.
I would say, Roman, if you use those, pay very close attention to the dehydrated types, because the amount you use is going to be different. And nothing is the same as fresh.
Right. And I find that my mother used to use that kind of stuff, right? And it's like it would lose its flavor. The pungency of it was not there.
I do have dehydrated garlic, and I also have powdered garlic. I like to use the dehydrated in soups and stews.
Okay.
Because it's going to sit there for a long time, and it will be there. Oh, and BJP 2B said, I burn it with honey.
I was thinking about that while I was putting my notes together and forgot to go looking about that.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing it up.
Yes. And Leah said Asian folks use dehydrated because it won't burn in the wok.
Okay.
Trust me.
Right. As long as you're using it a lot, you're turning it over, it's not going to lose its flavor, I guess.
Yeah. Timmy and I were probably separated at birth. He said burnt garlic in the skillet ruins everything. I learned this by doing it over and over and over. Yeah. So, okay, so this is an interesting thing. With honey, it can be used for virus related sicknesses. I'm going to star that because we're getting to the healing uses of garlic. By all means, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
Please seek professional assistance. So, do you want to give us some of your information related to the healing uses of garlic?
I sure will. I'd love to. Okay, so it's also known as stinkweed. It's one of its folk names. And poor man's tiaco, and tiaco was a like a cough syrup. And you can still get tiaco cough drops in some places. And it does come from a plant, but it's expensive. And that my notes, plant 6 weeks before the ground freezes. And not that many pests or diseases or even animals are interested in eating up your garden, right? So you don't have to worry about slugs and things of that nature. And I find that just unless you have a garden that is extremely hot, just letting it grow on what Mother Nature gives it, unless we've had a drought of a year. But you don't need to water it a lot because it's roots seeking the groundwater to begin with.
Yeah.
And all of the parts are edible. The leaves, the flowers, the cloves, maybe not the paper that wraps around the clove, but it's all edible. And that it's been in medicinal use back to when the pyramids were being built in Giza. So it's found on, in hieroglyphs and on the Giza Plateau. And Hippocrates noticed that it rid parasites, and it was good for respiratory, which we know. Just have to eat it. It's like an onion. It's in the family of scallions and leeks and shallots. And open your nose, and it aids digestion. And here's a plus. It is for sex therapy too. It lights your fire, and it is a sexual drive tool. So you can use it in your spell work when you're looking for some love. It's stuffed, right? It's stuffed with phytonutrients.
Yeah.
And phytonutrients, phyto means it's from the plant, right?
Yeah.
So phytonutrients do the same thing that antibiotics would do, right? Well, they don't always cross over, though. So some antibiotics are not phytos, and some phytonutrients are not antibiotics. So what they do protect against is germs, of course.
Yeah.
And fungus, other diseases, and other threats. They plant the plant itself needs those in order to develop. And so that resting of the garlic clove before you cook enhances that phytonutrient. It grows because while it's in there tight, wrapped in this little paper, each clove has a paper of its own, which we all know, but it's not in there going, I just blossomed.
Yeah.
When that blossoming takes place, that's when all the good stuff starts to come in. It is all these antis. Antibacterial, it's an anticoagulant, which means it keeps the blood flowing, which means if you're on blood thinners, you might be able to skip that aspirin by making sure that garlic's a big part of your diet. Antifungal, antiseptic, anti-inflammatory.
Anti-inflammatory. It's said to reduce cholesterol. So it's a stimulant.
Yeah.
So putting it in your magical purposes for romance.
Yes. It stimulates circulation. It's an anticoagulant, so that makes it flow.
Yeah, it is very much an immune booster. And I have a friend who, during cold and flu season, she's eating a teaspoon or tablespoon of garlic every day. So,
well, and this brings us to the garlic and honey, because I wanted to look it up, because that's what my grandmother and grandfather used to give us if we were at their house, because it is an expectorant, and that honey really puts good purpose to that. Moving the phlegm.
And we've had more people. Pamela has come in, and Francine is heading out. So I'm also, part of where I get my research is I have this PDR for herbal medicines, which is out of print. There are 12 pages about garlic in here, including lots and lots of references to different things. So please be aware of that. But it is oftentimes people, they talk about cardiometabolic, and like garlic supplements can modestly lower cholesterol and blood pressure for some people, but the results vary.
Sure.
And so it's food use is fine, but for colds and immune, it's a nice supplement, but get it as a food and not necessarily as a pill.
Right.
So eat, eat garlic and butter pasta,
Yeah.
garlic bread.
Well, and if you are familiar with Mediterranean food, there is a well, I don't want to call it a dish. It's a spread. It's called noom. And
Mm-hmm.
it is fantastic. And it is lemon, olive oil whipped up, and garlic.
Yeah.
Enough garlic
Yeah.
for dragon breath and protection.
Well, and they also talk about the be careful with the interactions with your other medications,
Yes.
for entertainment purposes only. One of the there's a folklore that I have, which is if you put a clove of garlic in oil and then warm the oil and then drop it in your ear, it's
Yeah.
supposed to, this is a garlic mullein oils. They're folk remedies, but the quality of clinical evidence is lacking. And in the research I found, it says, do not drip raw, strong garlic into ears because it could cause chemical burns. However, maybe our grandparents and our great-grandparents and the wise people around the world have been noticing something. So
Yeah.
that's all I'll say about that.
Right? I mean, that oil with a clove soaking in it and in your ear, as a child who had numerous croup and sick all the time with tonsillitis, and then they took them out, and then they took my adenoids out, and then like everything, but the earaches didn't go away. So
Yeah.
whenever I get an earache, my grandparents, my mother kept it as well because she was brought up that way, and a drop with a clove in it in your ear.
And it's warm, not hot,
Yeah.
people. You're going to
Right.
cause damage. I also had a medicinal listing here for put it on the bottom of your feet because the benefits will help soak into the foot chakra.
That is the best. Our skin is porous and it delivers medicine, and it knows when to shut off because we don't need that. Okay. And the best way to get magnesium is through our skin, and especially when you're hitting those power points on the bottom of our feet.
Yeah.
So at night when you rub magnesium in, it gives you that same effect.
Yeah.
Boom, it goes right where it's needed, and if the body doesn't need it, it shuts it off.
Yeah.
So
Jilly had asked, how do we all feel about garlic? Because I'm not opposed in a pinch. I do not know what that is.
I think you have just shown us a couple bottles.
Garlic. Oh, garlic. I get it. I think it's fine. But
yeah, well, and I can't say I never tried it. It's just far and few between because there's always sitting on my sink.
Yeah. And Bernadette is here. Garlic is a very powerful healing tool in my country. We use it. We use all of it, and even make garlic tea. I love that.
Yeah.
So, and I had many earaches growing up. Spent many a night in ER.
Sorry to hear that, Barbara.
Yeah. My grandma ago did that in my ear also, Diana.
There you go.
So
yeah, and garlic and honey, I love that. I'm going to do that again.
There's a lot of there's a book, and I cannot remember the title of it, but it talks about using garlic and I think onions and honey and cooking it on a very low heat for a long period of time, and you're basically creating something that you can eat very it's very you can eat it, and so it's good with for your respiratory system.
And doesn't mustard patch also have garlic in it?
Mm-hmm.
The old days when we made I just bought a big bowl of ginger too.
Yeah. So I think a really key thing is if you have take precautions, people. Don't be crazy. Oh, yeah. And honey is a miracle thing, antiseptic and hypoallergenic. I saw something recently to where if it's honey, if there are bubbles in the honey, which honey turns into what?
Sugar. It just
Okay,
granulates.
well, if there are bubbles in the honey and archaeologists get it, they can actually test the air in the bubble to find out about the atmosphere.
And lots of stuff, how old it is. And honey doesn't go bad. Honey never goes bad.
Yes, honey never spoils. Okay, let's talk about some of the magical uses. What are some of the magical uses, Diana?
Well, you can wear it to guard yourself from the plague.
Okay.
Right? It's used still to absorb disease. So you peel it and rub it on your skin, which is what you were talking about with the bottom of your feet and hit the massage points. And when you rub it on, you're getting the fuller effect because it's going right into the bloodstream through the capillaries into the vessels and veins.
Yep. Yeah.
And then also you take fresh peeled cloves and run it under cold water as well, and then use it like first you make a spell, whatever it is you want to spell, using that, and then again you rub it into a body part that is being affected. If it's your heart chakra, if you top of your head, whatever it is that you want to clear the air for, make the blood flow better, your thoughts to move better. So working it in spell work like that. And then another one was to wear 13 cloves on a string for 13 days. And then at the end of the 13th day, in the dark, at night, you take it off. You go to where two streets are crossroad. Well, a crossroad, but you just want to go between two streets and take it off, throw it behind you, and don't look back and run away.
There you go. Well, you bring up a really interesting thing is because in Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, he does talk about that it is masculine in gender, associated with Mars, the element of fire, and the deity associated with it primarily is Hecate or Hecate. Key powers are protection, healing, exorcism, lust, and anti-theft. So this is I find this really very interesting. We had a couple of people who said, as you were saying, Diana, and vampires, and it dispels vampires, of course, unless it's Lestat.
He'll just eat it.
Yes. And Bernadette said, the smell can drive out and fight dark entities and energies. And Maru brings a very practical point. I think it keeps you well because people will keep their distance. LOL.
I like that. Well, it's also used in exorcism.
Yes. Yes. Irene said, I leave garlic on my best friend's burial spot. I buy it from a roadside stand with a donation box. We used to buy our garlic there when she was alive. That is a beautiful memory and a powerful, powerful ritual. Thank you for sharing.
Isn't it? And that brings us to the Festival of Hecate, because during that festival, you're supposed to go to Crossroads and leave a clove of garlic for her as a sacrifice.
Yes.
A whole bulb, not just a clove, a whole bulb.
Yes. And so, okay, so healing, exorcism, lust, energy. Carry a clove, hang it at thresholds, or add to a sachet or mojo bags. and offerings at the crossroads. And as you were saying, Diana, whenever you're offering to Hecate or Hecate, you leave it at the crossroads and you do not look back.
Right.
Do not look back.
Right.
Yes. Now, and by the way, use it ethically and respectfully. When you are doing magic, intent matters.
Exactly. Just as
Slow
when we're
down,
eating.
people. Slow down.
If we honor our food as we are consuming it, it treats us better. It doesn't sit like a lump. We digest it. We get the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to use that same philosophy when we're doing spell work with it.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, energy follows intent always. So, vampires.
You tell me, because, I've got my...
Here's the vampire myth moment. Garlic's strong smell made it a classic aprotropic evil averting in parts of Europe. The specific vampires hate garlic trope was popularized in the 19th and 20th century fiction and film, not lab science. And I love that it actually said not lab science, because how often are we going to get a vampire to be willing to come into a lab for testing?
I was working in the lab late one night.
There you go. There you go.
So, but cloves of garlic are considered protection. I mean, sailors would have clutches and clutches of them for that, to avoid storms. And Roman soldiers not only ate it for the strength of it, but also had it around them at all times for the protection from it. Mm-hmm. So, I can see how the myth of the vampire was born out of that.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, and this is one of those things, a lot of the magical uses of garlic, in my opinion, are passed down because people have paid attention to what works. Mm-hmm. Very much like the wise women, the elders. It's, go eat a whole bunch of garlic because it's going to help you. And sure enough, it does. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of Romania has stories about garlic, as does Greece and the Balkans and the Philippines. There's a lot of different tales.
Right.
So
and just this little tidbit, the father of the real man, Comte de Saint-Germain, was from Transylvania. And he's now an ascended master, right? Saint-Germain. So thinking about what went on in Transylvania just historically, even though they've been given the vampires, it also kind of dates to the history of, and I can't say the last name right now because I have to look at it. It sounds very Ukrainian, Polish, I have to look at it in order to say it. But his last name begins with an R, his real father. But, it's just one of those things where I'd love to tell you the whole story right now, but I'm going to save it for another time.
Well, and so there's also, I'm reading Nancy Hendrickson's book, and her intro to ancestor practice states intent plus energy equals magic.
And that is magic in the kitchen too, because that's where it comes from.
Yes.
We take those things that grow, that keep us alive and sustain us, and understand the practical magic that comes from sustaining ourselves can be applied to the energy around us, right, Gerald?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The intent that you have, or your mood while you're preparing food, in my opinion, changes the flavor of the food. Mm-hmm. So there has been some question about, are vampires real? That's a different show.
Yeah. but I'd
So
love to be there with you.
yeah, well, and Annie Bear wants to talk to Lestat. So, but
Watch how you speak to him.
oh yeah, there you go. So, what other do you have other magical uses?
La la la. Well, just like all plants, putting it at the door is always a protection mode, especially when you know that the purpose of that plant is protection. It gives you protection from all these diseases, so it's giving you protection from germs coming in the door with your friends.
Yeah. Well, and yeah. I'm also looking at the Llewellyn complete book of correspondences. They talk about garlic and say it's also known as stinking rose and stinkweed. I went to a restaurant, a famous restaurant in San Francisco. I think it's called the Stinking Rose. Everything was made with garlic. Quite delicious. And so it is something. The celebration for it is Samhain, Aries, and the day of the week associated with it is Tuesday. So, but
Mars being its planet is the ruler of Aries, but also the ruler of Scorpio. Sawe, my gentleman friend here.
There you go. And for increasing arousal, we'll pause there for a moment. Everybody take a sip.
I could sure use one. The Canadian fires are still giving us smoke.
Yeah, and Timmy went to the Stinking Rose in Los Angeles. There are a lot of information in here also about the issues, intentions, and powers. A lot of it is breaking. A lot of it is related to building energy. And it relates to a lot of strength. So we have, okay, so if you are wanting something quick to protect, get a clove of garlic, put it over your threshold, and set that intention. So I would also, if you have garlic, make sure you're storing it appropriately.
Yeah.
So store it appropriately. So,
well, and another way to force the bulb was what I was saying earlier, is just to keep it in the refrigerator for a long time in the drawer that's going to allow the moisture, because over time, just like our crocus and everything else you want to plant in the spring, that will start to sprout, and you can plant those.
I love that. So I do want to talk about the recreational uses of garlic, or the recreational and homestead uses of garlic. Do you have any that you want to share, Diana?
Well, keeping a clutch of them going, okay, in the twist, like chili peppers. Right? And it's decorative. It's in the kitchen. You break it off, and if it's dry, that's okay. There's your dehydration. You've naturally dehydrated it by Mother Nature.
Yes.
So you're still using it, and it's still available to you. The flavor is there.
There's aphrodisiac lore associated with garlic.
Yes.
One might call that recreational uses. But many sources tag garlic as libido boosting. And let me say that again. Libido boosting. And again, that's cultural lore. So your results may vary. However, I want to know how many people were actually proposed to at an Italian restaurant.
Lady and the Tramp for sure.
Yes. So, recreational use, also homestead use, garden pest management.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the oil, garlic oil appears on the EPA's minimum risk pesticide list. And so it can be definitely a deterrent.
Yeah, agreed.
There are lots of beautiful things to do. You can actually braid it, and
Yeah,
so you can store it. You will see that a lot, which is
yeah.
quite lovely.
And farmers markets have a lot of those braids available at this time of the year because it's harvest time. So,
Mhm. Yes. It does say store cool, dark, and dry with airflow when you're storing it out like that,
mhm.
because you don't want that to get moist when you're trying to dry it out. That's, oh, I said that word. You want it to be dry in the airflow.
Got it.
I just want to say that. Now, I've never done this, but there was some research about dyeing with garlic skins.
Well, yes, and you can put it in with onion skins as well. You
Yeah.
get like that. There's a Roman and a German that has a burgundy and a strain of red and rose colors, and there's so many different kinds that they're just beautiful. I love looking at them, quite
Mhm.
honestly.
Yeah. So from a homestead or recreational use, you can use it as a natural dye, and it yields a very subtle tans or yellows, but you have to use the mordants, and the results are lighter than onion skins
Yeah,
for
right.
dyeing purpose.
Especially, that in Romania, Romanian dyed eggs at Easter time, Czechoslovakia, Serbia, Poland, everybody would take onion skins and boil the egg over and over and over till you got to that black. But then as you carefully
Ah,
scrape off those layers, that's how you get all the other colors in underneath, right? So you scrape off a layer and then you get another color. And so you have your patterns going. And I should have brought that because it was dyed that way.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
I have a beautiful one from it was still called Czechoslovakia at the time. So
I think what's really amazing, for me, recreational, when I was doing the studying with this and we had those 4 areas, the culinary, healing, magical, and recreational uses, there was a slightly different bend to the idea of recreational.
yeah.
Uh, recreational and culinary in this context, there's a lot of overlap.
And especially when we think of the history of all of this, there wasn't radio, there wasn't television, there wasn't telephone, there wasn't,
Mhm.
it was just each other. And so the community came together over their food and
Yeah.
growing it together and
Oh,
sharing,
yes.
celebrating all the festivals with it.
Mhm. Yeah. And a few more people have come in. It's great to see everybody here. Diana, we're gonna wrap this up, and I want to say a few things for some safety or quick hits, some safety things. Refrigerator freeze garlic in oil, because don't shelve it because it's unacidified. You got to be very careful.
Acidified.
Um, watch other meds for it.
Like grapefruit juice, you got to be careful when you're drinking grapefruit juice.
Mhm. Oh, and Barbara had mentioned the Gilroy Garlic Festival.
Oh, where is Gilroy?
Somebody else mentioned that. Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, so that's perfect. I love that.
Well,
Uh,
now we have meaning to the word Gilroy was here, but where is Gilroy?
I thought it was Kilroy,
Oh, hello. Glad.
Gilroy, California.
Okay. I'll make my kids go there.
There
Bring
you
it
go.
to for Christmas.
Be very aware there's no raw garlic on skin or in ears because you can get a chemical burn. Don't do it.
And I've done that with oregano oil on my skin.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You
make
got to
sure
be really careful with that.
Right.
Really careful with that. And you know, we're the advice we're giving is that you talk to your clinician. I also want to say, if you are wanting to do some culinary magical uses, like I did with this cayenne pepper and garlic, you know, do it on a full moon, do it on a new moon, do it with intention.
A half moon today.
A half moon. And you know, this lives in my refrigerator, and occasionally I will add more garlic to it, because sometimes when you allow something to rest or to ferment, the flavor gets more robust and more intense.
Especially if you just keep adding.
Yes.
Right? And the cayenne mixed with that, oh my gosh, it must really clear your sinuses as well as calm down any inflamed joints.
Yeah, yes. And so Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, is here. Hello, Sherry.
Oh, Sherry, tell us some of your garlic stories in Louisiana.
I do want to remind everyone, both Diana and I do private readings. Our contact information is below. So what are your last minute thoughts, Diana, as she is reviewing her notes? Do you see what she's doing? She's going like this. You know.
Right? I'm going, what did I miss? What did I miss?
Yeah.
So if you want to make witch's black salt, which is a time to come about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever want to eat it. And yes, you can start with coarse salt, be it kosher or even your pink Himalayan, whatever you use. And then take the ashes of all of your smudgings and your candle wax and your
just burning your bay leaves.
Bay leaves. The sticks that the incense is dipped on, use that as well. You can break it up or leave them whole. Somebody will step on them. Another thing I like to add, but I usually add it after I've sprinkled it because they're hard to come by, is blackthorns. You know, off the blackthorn tree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me just grab one. I mean, this is the crown of thorns that they use for Yeshua, right? Let me put it in my white hair. You can see it better. So, and you don't want that on your head. You don't want to step on that. So, you know, putting things like that in it, anything that is not something that you would normally find extremely attractive. This wards off evil. And black salt made at Saway for a year to get you through a year is even stronger because it's Saway. So making that and scrapings from the cast iron, what you've cooked.
Oh yeah.
The scrapings from that, and then mugwort, flakes of mugwort in there, deer's tongue, other herbs that are to ward off.
I have put into each of our chats, I did a show with Angela and Deb where we talked about black salt, and boy, that was it was almost 2 years ago that we did that. So yeah,
I love my bag.
I like that. I love that. So I want to appreciate everybody for being here. Follow the links in the description for more of the Laugh and Learns. Where are you next, Diana?
Tomorrow night, I'm having Diane G on with me, and we're going to do a starseed Akashic readings. So we're looking for,
Okay.
you know, that part of your past, where we all come from.
There you go. And Sherry says, Gerald, we probably use more peppers and spicing seasoning. Garlic is definitely on the list, as well as all kinds of onions.
You bet
Yes.
me.
Yes. And Pamela said, I should
Yes.
harvest thorns off my quince bushes. What are they used for?
Well, guardian, right? So putting them in black salt if you're going to make your own witch's salt. It's also called witch's salt.
Yes.
It's not edible by any means.
No.
Right, but it's protective for around your building, around
Yes.
a room, in a corner. An animal's not going to go after it. There's too many other terrible things in it. So I'm going to take these dried cloves and add to it by slicing them so that I can get it. They'll be dry, so it'll probably be easy enough to crumble. Just crush it with my mortar and pestle. And so get that moved into the black salt as well.
Yeah. Sherry wants us to do another show on black salt and its uses. I mean, the last show we covered quite a bit of it, and so you know, maybe that's a good idea. I appreciate it. So
Yep.
Okay.
Well, this coming into Samhain, we could just go on and on about all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah. And you know, Samhain is, this time of the year is really beneficial to do various magical things. Here's the other thing. You don't have to wait until Samhain to do it. You do it when you need to do it. And part of that is really when you have the time to match your intent with the working, excellent. But if you don't, excellent, because you're pretty powerful. There you go.
Oh, I love the way you said that. Absolutely so.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, especially these past 2 years, it's like the veil that thinned in 2023 never went back.
Yes. It's very true.
So that's only going to make it even thinner.
Yes.
So don't be surprised by what you see.
There you go, people. So, all right. I do want to appreciate everybody for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us as we talk about garlic on this Laugh and Learn. If this sparked ideas from black garlic aioli to threshold protection, tap subscribe, leave your favorite clove trick in the comments, and share this with a fellow kitchen witch. We will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.